I have how many cars in Nigeria, I have a nanny, I have nannies in Nigeria, and I'm here, I'm doing everything myself. Sapa. Welcome to all of Elly. If this is the first time you're coming to my channel, welcome. I'm sorry if you hear mo there, just please ignore. UK houses are so thin, oh my god. And my children are in the house. It's funny because I just mentioned kids. Today's video is focused on being a mom, exactly that, having kids in the UK. What really are the differences, or what are the benefits of giving birth in the UK or giving birth in Nigeria as a mom, from a mom's perspective? And this is from a perspective of a mom who do not have anyone. You know, that's my experience. I never had anyone here when I came back. When I moved to the UK, I never had anyone. The only person that I had was my husband waiting for me in the UK. So I had no relative or no one whatsoever. So this is the perspective that I would be speaking from. So I have a list of points here on my broken phone. So I have a list of points here that I would be going through. So let's dive straight into this video. Number one, let's talk about the support you get after giving birth. Like, if you give birth in the UK and you have no one, like myself, in the UK, you wouldn't get as much support as you would get back in Nigeria. Obviously, you have relatives, parents, sisters, possibly siblings, aunties or uncles that are willing to help you. You won't you won't have anyone to take care of you except like people from the hospital coming to check on you, which we would come to. But yeah, you wouldn't have that, you know, family support. You for me anyways, my mom was here. She came on both occasions. She came after I had given birth, so I had that help, but for a very limited time. I think the most she stayed was probably about 4 months or 5 months. No, I think it was 3 months. I think 3 to 4 months. I think that's what she said. So I had it for a certain period of time. I didn't have it for so long because obviously yeah, she had to return back to work and, you know, the rest of it. So for someone like me, if I was in Nigeria, at least I would have that help. She would do proper omugwo for me. I would even go to her house to stay. If she says she wants to go to work, I will go to her house and I will stay in the house, you know, for that omugwo to be complete. I don't know how long omugwo is supposed to be for, but I'll go to her house and I'll stay until my heart's content. So in that instance, I didn't have as much support, and this is what most of us here, wives, mothers abroad, this is what we suffer. Like, we don't have that family support. And I really pity students that I see these days coming with student visa and already, you know, pot belly. How will they survive? How will they read? How will they, you know, after they give birth, how will they even survive? Support, who would they get support from? Pity them. But that's the thing that you have to bear in this country, going for, you know, greener pasture and the rest of it. So anyways, yeah, that's the number one thing. You won't have as much, you know, support as you would like to get if you were living in Nigeria. Our Nigeria sisters, they're enjoying, you know, Nigerian wives have it a bit rosy. Obviously, the role of motherhood, or, you know, the situation of being a mother, a new mother, is not easy. Whether you have help or not, it's not easy. So but they have it more easier back in Nigeria as a new mom. You have all the love and all the care, everybody, you know, around you just showing you love that you might even almost want to shock of love. All right, so let's go into the second one, which is circumcision. Circumcision is not a normal thing in the UK to do. Like, it's not within their guidelines to do it, but they do. You can do it if you want to, but it's not within their process for a male child to be circumcised. So if you've given birth to a male child, first of all, you pay outrageously for it. I think it's almost £200 at this point. I think my friend had to do for her children, and she said the both of them cost maybe about almost £400, which is, oh my god, like that is the money you would use to give birth in Nigeria in some hospitals or some clinics, I think. So circumcision is very expensive and it's not something that you can easily even get. They don't offer it at the hospital. You can't do it at the hospital. So I think that you have to, is these Jewish people are here that does it, so you have to go and meet you have to have information on how to do it. Maybe they give it to them at the hospital, maybe it's some sort of guidance that they give to them. I don't have a male child, so I can't relate, but I'm just talking about it because it's something that I've heard of from my friends. So yeah, so if you give birth to a male child in the UK, first of all you have to look for how to get them circumcised, and secondly you have to pay, you have to pay big money for it. And also, if you're married to a white person or a Caucasian person, you have to both come to an agreement that you want to do it, because you can't just decide as an African to say, I want to do this for my child. It has to be something you would discuss to say that, should we do it or not. Some people even want to wait for their kids to grow up and make the decision themselves to circumcise to circumcise themselves, which would be very painful if they decide to, because I can imagine as a grown man you want to go for circumcision. It won't be easy. But yeah, so circumcision is different. So another thing, the third thing I want to talk about is loneliness. So loneliness is another thing that can take a toll on you, especially as you're not getting the support that you need or you want, and you there's no family or friends around, your husband is gone to work. That loneliness can really hit hard in moments where you actually need somebody to talk to. And thank God for myself, I had friends that are always ready to that are always ready there for me to speak with if I wanted to, over the phone. But obviously sometimes, most of the time, you would crave friendship, like companionship from your friend. Or is companionship the right thing to say? Maybe not, but yeah, you would crave for someone, you would crave to talk to someone, to talk with, and not a baby. You crave to talk with an adult. But I think that for mothers in Nigeria, they would have that friendship. They would have people coming around to talk to them. They would have their mom, their relative. They'll have family around to talk with. The fourth one I want to talk about, which is having no friends or relative for your children to play with. You don't have relatives abroad, so obviously you don't have anyone to take your kids to for play dates, or even to hang out. You don't have the friendship to say, oh, let's go out today. Or it takes time, though. You would develop that friendship along the line. But as a new mom, especially in my condition, I came to the country, I just got pregnant. And I just gave birth 9 months, 10 months after. So oh my God, you can imagine my situation. So anyways, as time grew on, obviously I have friends that I can definitely call to chat with, or to even hang out with if needed, or if there's a time. But obviously back in Nigeria, we see parties all around on our Instagram. We see parties, we see birthday parties, there's family functions, there's marriages, there's just, even I'm coming to your house, so hope you get rice. There's that, that you can always go there and gossip all day or how many hours, and then you go to your house and you feel renewed and refreshed, in you. So in Nigeria, it's much easier for our friends' children to grow up together, and our relative children to also grow up together. We can always all drop our kids at grandma's house, and grandma will take care of all the cousins' children and all that, with some people anyways, not with everybody. Yeah, so let's talk about help. The fifth one, I think, which would be help. Having help. We all know that it's easier to get help in Nigeria. Some people even have 2, 3 helps or 4 helps, have 4 children, 4 helps in Nigeria, and they're not so rich, not so wealthy, but they can afford it because not so expensive again. But obviously in UK, you cannot have 2 helps and 2 children. You need to be receiving way. You need to be on a very, very comfortable level to be even having a stay-in help, like a help that would come to your home and will stay with you. Obviously some people can afford it. I'm not saying some people cannot afford it. They can afford it, but they'll be paying more. It doesn't come easily. It's more expensive. Some people do this thing I don't know what it's been called. I've forgotten what the system is called, but they do this thing where people who are coming from other countries, maybe mostly European countries, they come to stay in your house and they help with, you know, how light house chores and taking care of your children. So instead of you paying nursery, they do that. So some people, instead of them paying nursery, they do that. They bring the foreigners into their home to take care of, you know, their children, and mostly take care of their children. So there's that, which is even still expensive. I think it's almost as expensive as nursery, but it's less expensive for you if you have more than one child, so it will work out cheaper for you. You have to pay them for food, for their own food. You have to pay them to stay with you within your home, I think, and then you have to pay them to take care of your kids. I don't know the whole process, maybe I might be wrong, but you pay normal money, like you pay money that they can live on. Yes, because there's a set guideline, there's a set level of money that you can, or income that you can give to them, or allowance as it's called, a level of allowance that you should be giving to them. So it doesn't come, you know, easy. If I was in Nigeria, my child would go to nursery and I would still have like a nanny in the house, so it would be an extra luxury for me if I was in Nigeria, and it will come easy for me to get it. And if you're very comfortable, like if you have, yeah, if you've laid your foundation solid, and you're living comfortable, basically you can afford it, but it doesn't come easy to everybody. So that's something to bear in mind as a new mom. If you don't get the money, you will do everything yourself. You will do everything yourself. Some people leave Nigeria with nannies. Some people have 2-3 nannies in Nigeria. When they come here, no nanny, they hustle themselves. So this is what I'm saying. Your condition in Nigeria, even if you're transferring that same condition to the abroad that you're coming, it doesn't level, like it doesn't level up. So some people, I have a few people that have been complaining, like, oh, I have how many cars in Nigeria, I have a nanny, I have nannies in Nigeria, and I'm here, I'm doing everything myself. Sapa. Not Sapa, sorry. I'm moving on to the positivities, or the positives of living abroad as a mom. One, obviously, is healthcare. You get people coming to the house to check on your child when you're just discharged. When you leave the hospital does not mean you've been discharged. You're being discharged if they believe that your child and mother is well, child is well, more specifically child anyways. When they've washed and they've kept an eye, they come to visit your child, or yourself and your child for maybe weeks. I can't remember now, but maybe 5 weeks, I think, or less than a month, I think. Maybe 2, it depends. I think the minimum is maybe 2 weeks, but there's no maximum, because it depends on where your child is fit to be left alone. When your child is well enough to be left alone, when they believe that there's nothing wrong, everything is okay, so they'll discharge you. So that's when they discharge you, not when you leave the hospital. No, it's when they believe that your child is okay with you at home. That's when they now discharge you. So the health visitor would also come when they are 1 year, 18 months and 2 years before they start school. So they come at intervals to check. I mean, they book an appointment with you and they come to your house to check, is the environment good for the child. If you have stairs, you have to put a stair guard, to prevent the child from falling. Those things. Is the child talking? You know, are they walking when they're supposed to be walking? Are they saying certain words? I mean, this is, you know, later on in development stage when they come to visit. So there are different things that they check to make sure that the child is growing as they should be growing. Whereas in Nigeria, it's your responsibility to make sure that all these things are happening. If you like, follow it up. If your child is, you know, not, you know, developing well, is left to you. The country does not care about you. So but these are the things that you benefit here in the UK. So they're able to spot certain things. Maybe if your child is autistic, for instance, they can tell you, oh, the characters of this child is, you know, going this way. We need to do this, or you need to do this and that. You need to speak with a therapist, a speech therapist, or a psychologist, or whatever. Yeah, they have those systems in place. In this regard, if your child was, like, for instance, ill of a certain condition, if they were having certain ailments, they would assist you. They would even support you in some instances financially to take care of that child or to take care of yourself. The last thing I want to mention is that as a mom living abroad, one thing that you enjoy is that 1 year that you stay at home with your child and you get paid for up to 6 months, up to 24 weeks, I believe, or 22 weeks. Anyways, you get paid for up to 6 months, which is really very, very good if you were a working mom, not all moms. If you're a working mom, you get paid either by your organization if you're entitled to it, or by the government if you're not entitled via your organization. If you're entitled to get it via the government, they will pay you. You don't even need to be a citizen. They would pay you that amount amount. And also when they pay you for 6 months, up to 6 months, for government the time scale is different. But yeah, when you receive that pay from your organization, you also have that extra 6 months that you don't get paid, but you can decide to stay with your child, or you can decide to go back to work. It's up to you. So you have up to 1 year to stay with your child and to just bond and nurture your child up to that 1 year mark. And it's left for you if you want to go back to work or if you want to quit. So yeah, so those are the benefits. So I think when you live abroad, you receive some benefit, you have some benefits. When you also live in Nigeria, there's also the benefit. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight these different situations. But overall, if you ask me, would I like to give birth to my child in Nigeria? Would I like to give birth to my child in Nigeria? Yeah, I'm torn because obviously there's a healthcare that's good, that's very good, but then there is the emotional support that's not so good. But if I compare all the stories I've heard from Nigeria and how they go from one place to vaccine to, do you know what? I'm good here. I'm good. I'm good in the UK. I'm good here. I'm really good to give birth to my children here in the UK. So I think that's my verdict. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you like watching. Okay. If you like watching, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. What are you waiting for? But tell me, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. But yeah, until I catch you next time, is bye from me.